is about linguistic and ethnic affinities, cultural affinities. And if you...
My question now is, would you mind the Igala and the Igbo uniting to create a bigger region based on these interrelationships? Thank you very much.
The Igbo region, the princes that were sent out married natives of those areas and gave birth to children who by virtue of the fact that their mothers were the ones at home raising them, were speaking Igbo language. So if you look at Anambra, Enugu states, the closest to us, Anambra State, Enugu State, Igala people are all over there. Presently, they are there. There are even those that, as I'm speaking, they have no...
Even in area of coal deposit, Igala land has one of the highest. I stand to be corrected. The Igbo brothers know these statistics.
Igala lose very small, only 4 million. Why not form a bigger federation with nearby people?
I want to congratulate Igala for having commercial deposit of petroleum products. But it is not the only region that has petroleum deposits. Yes, by way of correction, Gombe has large quantities of petroleum products.
Yeah, to say even if it's one person that says, I am an Ana-Igala, he should be. That's why we are here. In the United States, Louisiana is less than 1 million, the state of Louisiana is less than 1 million people. But based on their natural endowment, they negotiated in the 17, 16, whatever, Philadelphia conference, and they were recognized alongside Texas with a population of about 57 million people as a state. So
yes, today we are going to look into the Ana-Igala presentation. That is a proposed region coming from that upper side of Anambra State, that is Igala Kingdom. One thing about this particular presentation is that it is very unique, and I learned something very, very interesting in it. Yes, the purpose of this, restructuring is to unite. That is the purpose, and it is very clear in this Igala presentation. If you want to do I love you, or we are friends, remove Koni friend. That is the thing. I don't like what with the day I showed Yoruba people. I must be frank with you people. It's all of you to come and do your presentation. You are now saying that that your people are good. Some people want to join you, that you understand yourself. Who are you referring to? Who? I want to know who is referring to. Now, the purpose is to unite people. And among the speech, the discussion I have seen so far, nobody has come out to say, to condemn what is happening between River State and the Igbo proposed region. Nobody has come out. But now, if my Igbo people now, they will come out and be defending the Hausa people, defending the other people. So, but it don't reach our turn now. Nobody has come out to condemn it. The Indoni people, the Eche people, the all of them, they are all Igbo people and they speak Igbo. So why it don't reach now Igbo turn now? Nobody want to talk, which means they have already planned this thing and they have sponsored people against the Igbo race. Well, they will not succeed though. If they try this one, they will try the other one. If they try this one, it not work, we will try another one. But not forget that, the purpose of this restructuring is to unite people, and there is no way, no two ways about that. Well, I'll still bring, God's willing, I'll bring Cross River and Akwa Ibom. So is Cross River and Akwa Ibom not supposed to be together? What is the difference?
The Igbo nation knows that almost everything you've said here is correct. we know that. We are not surprised that 20 of your children were abducted, and you don't know their whereabouts. You've spoken the truth. My only question, maybe is a wish, is it possible? I won't go to the other details because the Aro people, I have read a book by one Yesufu Etu, an Igala historian. I hope you've read the book. Yes. In questions and answers. That educated me to introduced me to the Igala civilization. I have also read a book by William Becky, that mentioned that the Igala language was one of the lingua franca in the southern and the whole Niger Benue confluence. So the Igala is a great civilization, and we join you to confirm, the Igbo people join you to confirm that what you've spoken is substantially true. But you've spoken as an Igala patriot. The Igala influenced the Igbo influenced the Igala.
Any question? Because time is going.
So my question now is, would you mind the Igala and the Igbo uniting to create a bigger region based on these interrelationships? Thank you very much. We'll take the question.
I think they will ask all the questions and then you answer them.
Thank you very much for a very good presentation. My question is, all around you, like the Ebiras, for instance, the Bagit, are you at amity with them to be on your own compact? Are you laying claims to some people around you? Are they laying claims to you too? You need to answer that question, then you'll be able to project yourself. And the question he asked also is relevant. Igala lose very small, only 4 million. Why not form a bigger federation with nearby people? Only you negotiate how you are going to rotate positions, how to share resources, and then you're still going to be a federation. You federate with, I don't think you like to be with the Igbos because they are too big for you. But you might want to federate with the Ebiras, with the Gbagis, and share proportionate power politically and economically. They will be much more viable. That's what we are saying. But it's a consideration I'm just suggesting, no? I'm not imposing. No? Thank you.
Well, I'm a High Chief Ayo Abiora, Regent of Abajongamuru. Actually, what we are here is a serious business. And I appreciate your position. If we are talking about state, it's going to be one region. For a group to be looking for a region, we must always see that divisibility is a good thing. So that our sitting here just not be, to be wasted in terms of the achievable and what's not achievable. I wish you good luck, but I'm only saying that region, inside region will be provinces and states. So for Igala to say they want to be a region, I wish you good luck. Thank you. Well, my own is not a question, but an observation and a correction. I want to congratulate Igala for having commercial deposit of petroleum products, but it is not the only region that has petroleum deposits. Yes, by way of correction, Gombe has large quantities of petroleum products. because whatever we say here is going to affect the decision we will be taking generally. So I have to raise that observation. Of course, it's commercial.
Thank you. I will come to you.
Okay.
Thank you very much, the people of Ana-Igala. Your presentation is very informing. I want to say that all of us are here because we do not like what is happening at the moment in the Nigerian Federation, where resources is taken from somewhere to, mismanage in the name of, sharing
so that you
for
don't
everybody.
take too much time. Just the question, please.
Well, what I'm saying is this. The essence of our being here is to free ourselves of any encumbrances. When a question is being asked, would you like to join us? Would you like to join these people? What about little ethnic groups around you? Have you sought their consent? That defeats the aim of our being here, as far as I'm concerned. We are here to say, even if it's one person that says, I am an Ana-Igala, he should be. That's why we are here. In the United States, Louisiana is less than 1 million, the state of Louisiana is less than 1 million people. But based on their natural endowment, they negotiated in the 17, 16, whatever, Philadelphia conference, and they were recognized alongside Texas with a population of about 57 million people as a state. So we are not here to say unless you are up to 500,000, you can't be a region. Even if it's 2 persons who want to be a region, allow them to be. That's why we are here. Thank you.
Please, we'll take only one more question so that they can respond.
The convener, mine is a question before the comment. First, congratulations. We are hoping to join you very soon. We want to find out, we saw your list, and Agatu and Apa local government from the Benue Zone C were co-opted into the Ana-Igala region. Is it true? I wanted to just confirm first before I will make my remark, because I saw the list. I just want to confirm directly from you.
Okay. Please, one more question so that they can respond.
No, I want to make my comment.
They will respond. They will respond.
Is it true?
They will respond.
That is Apa and Agatu. Ogbadibo. Good. So we want to state that we came here today to also make our presentation, and thankfully the last speaker has just taken it out of us. We also want to make our own presentation to have our Apa Agba region. So that may be a little clog. While we support, we know we have a lot in common. Ebo, we speak Igala, you speak Idoma, but we would like to maintain our own region. So that there might be need for a little adjustment.
We are taking our time. Just ask the question. One more, please. They have to respond.
One more.
Please.
Well, thank you very much, the Ana-Igala, for this good presentation. Congratulations in advance. I want to mention that in every write of the author, sometimes is bias in writing.
Please, when the question, our time is going to the question, please. Ask question.
I can't give a background without asking
It's all right.
No, it's okay.
You have only 10 minutes.
Our time is 40 minutes. It's gone. It's remaining 10 minutes.
No, they showed us 10 minutes here.
Yes.
No, I thought they said
it's remaining 10 minutes.
40, and it's 10 minutes. It's remaining 10 minutes.
Sorry, but sit down now. Thank you very much for your questions.
We have within 10 minutes. So people,
I commend the questions and the gentlemen that posed them before us. The first one asked whether Igala land will merge with Igbo land to form a region. The first one inquired if Igala land, if it is possible for Igala land to be merged with the Igbo region.
please let's be
Some
silent,
bit of the
please.
historicity that she has narrated tells you the clear understanding of the stature of Igala land, the status of Igala land before the white men came with their decimating powers. Maybe she did not emphasize the fact that Igala was a sovereign region recognized internationally as one imbued with sovereign authority and power. The record books are there, particularly in Europe. If we have the privilege, I can show you a copy of the treaty between the Ana-Igala and Queen Victoria of England of 1841. And for anybody who studied international law, or even some bit of law, will tell you that it's a treaty between two equals on a parity status. They were equals. The Queen Victoria was never treated as superior to the king, the Ana-Igala, and that happens to be the only section of treaty, international treaty that exists, the only first of its kind in Nigeria. The others are treaties of protection. So it is not possible because Igala will want to restore all its territories, and if you put those territories together,
Please be quiet so that we can hear.
If you put the territories together, they are expansive enough to contain what you call a regional entity. We also understand that regions are not created on size or population, but on certain intricate things that go beyond the components of that region. That's to the first question. The second question, I think it was Dr. Fapunda that asked it, whether Igala land does want to federate with the other ethnic groups. Igala land is a large ethnic entity. It has sovereignty. I've stated that before. And apart from that, there's also a series of hegemony with aligning groups that agreed with our monarchs that time. They never quarreled with it. They never had reason to say they reject the Ana-Igala as their sovereign and as their authority. Things may have changed, but we have the capacity to bring all these people in as much as they will accept. The map you're saying is not the total map of Igala land. We are taking our time and our steps to ensure that we don't force people into the region, that they come on their own volition. There's been discussions going on with leaders of our group and members of those entities. I'll tell you that Ata sovereign goes beyond Asaba. That's a historical fact. It goes to Abo, it reaches Abo. If you read the landmark navigation of sailors in the 17th and 18th century, they all depict that fact, that Ana-Igala is an all-round sovereign, that his territory is as large as anybody can think. So we don't have problem with space. By the time we are done with the consultations we are having now, some of the people we are meeting, I think at the end, the Igala region will come out viable and strong. But even as it is still viable and strong, because Igala land holds the largest deposit of solid minerals in Nigeria. Quote me. Igala land holds the largest deposits of solid minerals in Nigeria. The oil brand in Igala Region is not the regular thing, Bonny crude light. It is Brent oil, sweet crude. That's what they call it. They have large deposits of oil deposits, oil and gas deposits in Igala Bella, in quantums, iron. So if you think of any solid mineral that is important to the existential reality of our daily lives today, you will find it in Igala land. I don't know if there's another question. Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to speak directly to the issue of economic viability. One of the delegates spoke about the oil deposit. It is on record that it's only Igala land in Kogi State, in the whole of northern Nigeria, that has 13% derivative, publicly announced. We have moved from potential to actual finds. Number one, if you go to Ankpa or Kaba region tomorrow, you will find out that every day, not less than 100 to 150 trucks of coal minerals is always shifted, in spite of the fact that our presenter said the road up till now is still bad. Last 2 weeks, Njema, there is a collapse cave there because of over exploitation of the coals. The Anambra region, the coal region of Anambra, started from the Okaba Ankpa in Kogi State. That is to tell us that even in area of coal deposit, Igala land has one of the highest. I stand to be corrected. The Igbo brothers know these statistics. And thirdly, we have abundant land areas in terms of agriculture. If you go to Ibaji areas, you go to Ofu local government, there are a lot of flood-fed ponds that takes a lot of natural fish to Onitsha market. My Igbo brothers here can attest to that. Right from when I was a young man, from our villages, boats are always filled up and they take big fishes to Onitsha market. Then thirdly, the fact still remains that cassava today, because of ethanol and so many other derivatives of cassava and cashew nuts, the imports, the exportation of these two items takes place majorly through the exploitation of what they have from Kogi State, particularly in Igala area. If you go to, immediately you cross Kotonkarifu, there is a big company there. It is being fed by cassavas from the Igala land and they are always exported to abroad. The coals from Okaba side is always taken to Niger Republic and so many other areas. Then secondly, we find out that at the end of the day, it is the abundance of human resources, the human capital, and Igala land has abundant human resources, virile and youthful population that can drive this development process. Thank you.
I think our time is up.
Yes, but if I may add briefly, the significance of the creation of an Igala region is because of the role it played in the creation of Nigeria. That one is a historical fact. It made sacrifices. It's paid a lot of price for Nigeria to exist. Thank you very much.
I think we are done actually, but just on the last note, we did our studies and Ana-Igala region is bigger than 93 countries in this world. We are more than 40 countries in population. And in terms of natural resources, we are about one of the most endowed in the entire country. So we have our economic strategies that we use to activate all of these things. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Delegates, I hope you have heard from us, and we look forward to a restructured Nigeria. Thank you. Yes. I thought we have all the other statements. No, I think so. I think that's the end.
Yes, the truth remains the truth, and probably we don't have the actual or establish the actual connection how these things happen. But you see about this Igala is one of the sons of Eri. You can verify. The records are there. Okay? So there is big link between Igalas and the Igbos. Even the Binisef. These people are all come down from the same descendants. I used to tell us that if you leave this area that I've mentioned, if you go to Yoruba land or go to northern side, they will tell you that you are Igbo. They will tell Bidiman that you are Igbo. It's very clear. They don't debate it. So, but it's we here that is trying to create this division. Outside there, they see us as the same thing. Well, let's see the actual presentation that the lady did. Quite interesting and very detailed. Don't miss any part of it.
Good afternoon to everyone. I am Lucy Jume Ogbadu, and I'm here to represent the good people of ancient Igala Kingdom. We are here to request for Ana-Igala Region. We joined this movement only this year. The Rebirth Group, we joined them only this year. And when we got to know the requirements for creation of regions, because I will not go through the issues of whether we are in support of creation of regions or federating units, because that is established. We are all in agreement that all of us here are in favor of moving from the powerful center to the regional groupings. So we joined early this year, just before the JOS Summit, the JOS Conference. So we saw the requirements, and the 4 requirements that were given by the Rebirth Group, we meet them. And so we felt that we should be able to put in for a region. Now the issue about creation of regions is not about land mass. It's not about population. It's about economic viability. It's about political sustainability. It's about linguistic and ethnic affinities, cultural affinities. And if you look at the map, at the back of your program, you will see the location of Ana-Igala Region. What you are seeing there as Ana-Igala Region is a minuscule fraction of what Ana-Igala Region should be. This is as a result of 200 years of fragmentation of that ethnic group. Beginning with the British, the European explorers, Ana-Igala Region was a formidable region, a powerful kingdom. In fact, one of the only 3 existing kingdoms in this region. The Igala Kingdom, the Bini Kingdom, and the Kanem-Bornu Kingdom. Those were the kingdoms that existed before the coming of the explorers. So powerful was Ana-Igala Region, Igala Kingdom, that if you go to the British archives, the documents in the British archives, this region is referred to Igala country. Igala country, that is the reference to this region. Now, after they arrived at the shores of this region, the Igala Kingdom, as powerful as it was, mounted serious resistance. And you can understand because of their color difference, black and white. Seeing white people for the first time, they mounted enormous resistance to the incursion of the white people. And that was one of the reasons why they felt that if they did not balkanize this group, there's no way they were going to succeed in their mission. So the mission to balkanize the land began in earnest. And when that started, the Igala region was balkanized into 3. One province was merged with Onitsha. One was merged with Onitsha in the south of this whole region. At that time, there was nothing like Nigeria. The second part was merged with Nasarawa in the north, and the third part was merged with what they called Munchi region, Munchi province. Those of you who are familiar with the history of Nigeria will now know that that is where the thief people are today. So that is how fragmented Igala region was. As if that was not enough, they brought non-indigens to serve as paramount rulers for the Igala people, just to make sure that, you know, they did not have a voice at all. So it is important I give you this background so that you know where we are coming from. So the fact that they have been relegating the Igala people, it did not start today. It is a legacy that was passed down. And I want to say that while we are all in agreement that we want to go the way of devolution of power from the center to the regions, those who are benefiting from the present system definitely will not agree. But it doesn't matter how many are they. From my own estimation, they are not more than 2% of the population of Nigeria as it stands today. So what we are talking about is that about 98% of us presently in Nigeria agree that power should move from the center to the region. Now, so organized was this kingdom, this system, that princes, Igala princes, were sent to the districts, you know, to oversee the affairs of the district, the governance in the district. And that is the reason why, if you look at the map again, we are so centrally located that we are related to all the surrounding regions presently. The Yorubas, we have a cultural affinity with the Yorubas. In fact, linguistically, if a Yoruba man is talking, an Igala man that has never left the shores of Igala land understand what a Yoruba man is speaking. The Igbo region, the princes that were sent out married natives of those areas and gave birth to children who, by virtue of the fact that their mothers were the ones at home raising them, were speaking Igbo language. So if you look at Anambra, Enugu states, the closest to us, Anambra State, Enugu State, Igala people are all over there. Presently, they are there. There are even those that, as I'm speaking, they have no other language. They don't even speak Igbo at all. But they are in Anambra, they are in Enugu State. The same thing with Delta. I'm giving you this background because these are the states surrounding Ana-Igala region. Delta region, the Ebu people of Delta, Oshimili North, Oshimili South, they are Igala speaking as I'm talking to you today. Esako West, in Edo State, they are Igala speaking. I will not go into the history of the various fragmentation that occurred during the creation of states, because it will eat into my time. I will not go into that. Now, having said this, the kingdom, like I said, was powerful. The Royal Navy held sway along the river or down to the coastal region, up from the confluence of the two rivers, River Niger and River Benue. The Royal Navy of the Ana-Igala held sway down to the coast, and that explains why you have Igala-speaking people at the coastal region. Somebody posted the map of 1922 recently, and if you go to that map, you see that Igala people are found in Warri region. As I speak to you today, one of the ruling houses in Warri is Igala. Up to today is Igala. Having said this, I want to say that in 1841, the Queen of England signed a treaty with the Ata Amocheje, 6th of September 1841. It was that document that the British took to the Berlin Conference of 1884-1885 that gave them the right to take over this region that is now called Igala, because the Portuguese were contending for this area. The French were also there, and for them to be able to share among themselves what area should go to which nation, it was that treaty signed by the Ata Amocheje on the 6th of September 1841 that the British presented at the Berlin Conference, and they were favored to come and take over this before the issue of amalgamation came out. Now, having said this, the resources that are found in Ana-Igala region are what have emboldened us to say this: yes, we can manage our resources ourselves. Even before now, under the native authorities, Igala Kingdom was second only to Kano. In terms of the economic power, economic standing. We were second only to Kano. And why was that so? Either the headquarters of Igala Kingdom was an inland port, inland water port. Ocean liners, big ocean liners used to come all the way to Ida, where they loaded palm produce, palm kernel, palm oil, and they offloaded finished goods. The companies that operated, the major companies that operated at that time were John Holt and UAC. It was a vibrant inland port where goods were loaded and taken off to Liverpool in Britain. Now, at the time we were second to Kano, we only depended on the agriculture. That has not changed. As you well know, the river Niger passes through our region. And so in agriculture, we are still as sound as we used to be in those days. Now, to add to that, things have changed because of technology, because of discoveries of solid minerals and all that. So beneath our soil, we have a lot of solid minerals. The panelists will elaborate on that later on. And as also know, our region is the only region in the whole of northern Nigeria now that is designated as an oil producing region. Well, you may say oil producing state. The region is the one that has given Kogi State that designation of an oil producing region. So if we could manage our agricultural resources. Now, with the coal that we have, the solid minerals, tantalite, limestone, and gold, all the other things that are there, our lot will be much better. But I tell you, as I stand here today, that life in my place, when I was growing up as a child, was much better than what I'm seeing now. That is what moved some of us to come and join this movement. Because, I mean, what do we leave behind for our children? As I was growing up, we had running potable water flowing in my house, in my compound where I grew up. Telecommunication, we had telephone, we had all these things. Now you come there, none of these things exist anymore. None of them is there. As an oil producing region, not a dime of it has touched my land. And fortunately or unfortunately, we are not that militant by nature. We are very friendly and peaceful people. We don't make trouble. Right now, the coal that has been under exploitation for how many years? Since 1968. 1968, during the Civil War, from the highway to that spot where they are mining the coal, it's not tarred up to today. This is because we are a very peace-loving people. Just about 10 days ago, when the youth said they had had enough and they came out to protest, some of them were abducted and taken away. Up to today, we have not seen them. We don't know where they are. Having said this, I want to say that we are committed to the regional government under a federating unit, and that we are requesting for an autonomous region called Ana-Igala, because if that is granted, it will end our 200 years of territorial fragmentation that has left us as a small enclave. Thank you very much for listening.
Questions, please indicate. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Pastor Hunda.
You have a question for them? Let me see.
Who is asking?
Okay.
Dr. Pastor Hunda,
Yes, viewers, we have come to our length, and please, if you have your contribution, go ahead and contribute. And don't forget to like this video, share it, and give us a like. Till I come your way next time.